Manipulation doesn't always look evil. Sometimes it looks charming, helpful, or even logical. And at some point, everyone has to learn how to recognize when someone or something is trying to control you, to twist your truth, or to drain your power. At some point, everyone has to discover how to reclaim your discernment and to protect your peace from energy vampires, narcissists, and psychological warfare. So, how does manipulation feel? How does manipulation feel before you realize that it's happening to you? Because manipulation isn't always loud. It can come wrapped in flattery. It can come wrapped in logic. It can come to you wrapped in guilt. And it can look like care but still feel like control. And here's the simple truth that I've learned through decades of experience and more than a few hard lessons. If someone or something is trying to get you to act against your true nature, you're being manipulated. If someone or something is trying to get you to act against your true nature, you're being manipulated. It might be a charming ex making you doubt what you saw with your own eyes. It might be a colleague flattering you while stealing your ideas and taking credit for your work. It might be a friend who's always needs rescuing but never shows up when you need them. Or a friend who betrays your confidences and tells private information to people who they know are working against you. Or it might be a family member guilt-tripping you into silence so that they don't have to face their own reflection. Or it might be the media feeding you fear until you're too paralyzed to speak up against touchy subjects that might get you cancelled. Or it might be the media feeding you fear until you're too paralyzed to think for yourself. So what is the winning-losing trap? Because manipulators thrive on polarity. They need someone to win and they need someone to lose, and preferably them winning and you losing. They bait you into competition, into outrage, into self-doubt. They bait you into competition, outrage, self-doubt because if you're fighting, you're not thinking. If you're fighting, you're not thinking. I've seen it in workplaces, relationships, or even in spiritual circles. People whispering about me behind my back to pit others against me, not because they wanted truth, but because they wanted control, because they wanted control over me. And when you rise above the win-lose game, when you choose truth and integrity instead of ego and drama, you stop feeding into their system. And that's what true power feels like. True power is when you don't take the bait. So what's really going on behind the scenes in your life? Ask yourself, who benefits if you react right now? What story are you believing, theirs or yours? Does this action align with your highest self, or does it align with your wounded self? Manipulation often hides behind a smiling mask. The manipulator's goal is to steer your choices to serve their agenda. They want access to your energy, to your reputation, to your influence, or to your peace of mind. They twist information, rewrite narratives, and weaponize emotion. But once you learn to spot the vibration of manipulation, you can't unsee it. You stop being the puppet. So how can you reclaim your power? How can you reclaim your power from a manipulative ex, from a duplicitous colleague, from a two-faced friend, from a guilt-tripping or guilt-trapping family member, or from the media? Step one is to pause before you react. Take a breath. When your emotions spike, when your anger, your guilt, your shame, your blame, your disappointment, your resentment, or your anxiety spike, pause. Take a breath. That's your nerve system warning you that manipulation may be at play. So take a breath, step back, and recalibrate. Step two is to ask yourself, what is the intent? What is the intent behind every conversation? Because there's always a motive behind a conversation. If someone's words make you doubt your worth, silence your intuition, or to turn against someone you trust, their intent is not love. Your gut knows before your logic does. So listen to that every time. Step three is to reclaim your narrative. Don't let others define you through gossip, through projection, or through distortion. Speak your truth calmly and confidently. Speak your truth calmly and confidently once, then stop explaining. Because energy vampires feed on your justifications, and your silence is your refusal to engage with them. And the days of giving haters, trolls, narcissists, gossips, and manipulators multiple chances, it's long gone. You have to be able to identify a scammer and cut them off immediately. So what are the everyday signs that you're being manipulated? Some of the signs are you feel confused after talking to someone. You feel like you should apologize, but you're not at fault. You feel exhausted after interacting with them. You feel pressured to prove yourself or to defend your truth. Maybe it's because when you doubt your own memory, when you doubt your judgment or your intuition. If any of these sound familiar, pause and reset. You're not crazy, you're being conditioned. And the sooner you put an end to that conditioning, the better off you'll be across all of the circumstances in your life. Because the real question isn't who is manipulating you. The real question is, why are you still listening? Why are you still listening to them or to that? Manipulation loses its power when you stop giving it your attention. You don't need to fight dirty energy with dirty energy. You need to rise above it by anchoring in your truth, by anchoring in your self-respect, and using your discernment. Ask yourself, does this information strengthen me or weaken me? Does it bring me closer to love or further interfere? Does it take me closer to what I want in my life and who I like to be in my life, or further away from that? That's your compass, that's your power. When was the last time you felt pressured to act against your intuition? Who benefited from that if you stayed quiet, small, or guilty? What would it look like if you set a boundary without feeling cruel or afraid? You can't stop people from manipulating, but you can stop them from succeeding with you. Your discernment is your spiritual self-defense. Your integrity, that's your shield. And your love, the grounded, intelligent kind of love, it's your ultimate rebellion. So the next time someone tries to push you into a fight, remember, you don't need to choose between winning or losing. You can choose to transcend. And if the people you personally transcended from turn out to be crybabies without your energy or presence in their life, don't get sucked back into the quicksand. It's not your job to rescue anyone from their karma or from their poor behavior, and especially from their poor behavior to you. When you stop being pulled by manipulation, you don't just win, you self-actualize and you personally evolve. When you stop being pulled into manipulation, you don't just win, you self-actualize, you personally evolve, and that's what you were born to do.